Authorized, so let me tell you about this conversation I had with my friend recently. We were catching up and he suddenly drops this bomb. Mary, I want to build a credit, but I don't want to get a credit card. Okay, that's a bit like saying you want to bake cookies without an oven. I ask him, why no credit card? They aren't that scary. And he's like, I've heard too many stories of people racking up debt. Fair point. So I got to thinking, how do you build credit without a credit card? And I found out there are actually some solid ways. Let's jump right into the first tip. Let's start with the fastest and easiest way to build your credit score. If you have a friend or loved one with good credit history, they can add you as an authorized user on their credit card account without you being responsible for the balance each month. But first, it is important for them to double check with their credit card company if they report for authorized users. If they do, congratulations, you're on your way to potentially seeing your score jump into the fair or even good range in a matter of just a few weeks. You benefit from cardholders, good credit, on-time payments, and low credit card utilization when reported to the credit bureaus, all without a thing charged to yourself. While this is most commonly done between parents and children, you don't have to be related to someone to become an authorized user on their account. You'll even get a physical card, although you're not required to use it, and the account holder may not want you to. In case of you spending money, you want to make sure the main card holder is comfortable with it, or it could affect your relationship. After all, you would have not want to risk a friendship over a few impulsive buys. Experts favor this option because it allows you automatically benefit from the established credit history of the primary card holder. As soon as you add it as an authorized user, you inherit the positive payment history of the account owner, which means you could immediately show years of on-time payments. Be careful though, if the cardholder overspends or misses a payment, it will reflect poorly on your credit score too. You are tied together financially and each other's actions can affect the other's credit worthiness. So what do you think? Are you ready to talk to a friend or a family member about becoming an authorized user? Did you know your trusty smartphone could be your secret weapon to build a credit? That's right, if you have a phone plan, you can actually be boosting your credit score without even realizing it. When you sign up for a phone plan, whether it's with big plan carrier or a small provider, you are typically entering a contract that requires you to make monthly payments. If those payments are reported to the credit bureaus, every single on-time payment adds a little boost to your credit profile, assuming your contract and carrier support it. But hold on a second, while this can help establish your credit history, it might have a small negative impact on your credit in the short term. When you first applied for your phone service, your provider might have done a hard inquiry on your credit report. So before you jump in, make sure you're ready to handle that phone payment. A rejected application can leave a mark on your credit report, and nobody wants that. Ever wanted to borrow money that's technically your own and still build credit? It might sound a little backward, but that's what a credit builder loan is all about. While traditional loans hand you cash upfront and hope you make those monthly payments, credit builder loans actually work in reverse. In general, you make a deposit in a bank account for the amount of the credit builder loan. You make monthly payments on the loan, and after you pay it off, you get your money back plus any interest that was earned. Credit builder loans are typically between $300 and $1,000. They're less about giving you cash on hand right now and more about proactively strengthening your credit before you actually need to borrow money. And the best part, you don't need a stellar credit score to qualify, you just need a steady income. Beyond helping you build up a positive payment history, credit builder loans have an added benefit of living with a chunk of savings. At the end of the loan term, the borrower gets their money back, minus any interest and fees, of course. Rather than reviewing your credit history, some lenders look at your banking history or income to determine whether to grant you approval. That could make these types of loans a good option for those with no credit history. Just a heads up though, missing a payment can hurt your score, so only take this route if you're confident you can stick to repayment. And here is a little secret, these loans have lower interest rates than other loans aimed at those with poor or no credit. Why? That's that's because you provide all the collateral for the loan in cash with no risk for the lender. Just make sure to read the terms carefully, as they can vary from one institution to another. Ever thought how a little plastic card from your favorite store could help build your credit? The store card can become your shopping sidekick and credit builder ally. Store cards are typically easier to get approved for than regular credit cards, especially if you're just starting your credit journey. When you apply for one, the store usually conducts a soft credit check, which means it won't impact your credit score as much as hard inquiry would. If you're approved, you'll have a new credit line that can improve your overall credit utilization ratio. Store cards report your payment history to the credit bureaus just like the regular credit cards. So every on-time payment you make boosts your score while also giving you a reason to shop. But hold up, before you rush to apply, there are a few things to keep in mind. Store cards can have higher interest rates than regular credit cards, so make sure you can pay your balance in full each month. Applying for too many store cards at once can raise red flags for lenders, so pick one or two that you'll actually use it. It's easy to get carried away with the discounts and promotions, so make sure you stick to a budget. And if you're wondering how can I budget better, watch this video next. Imagine if paying a rent each month didn't just keep a roof over your head, but also gave your credit score a boost. Well, it can by getting your rent payments reported to the credit bureaus. Intrigued? Let's dive in. Normally, rent payments don't automatically count toward your credit history, but with the help of third-party services like Level Credit or Rent Track, you can change it. These services report your rent payments to the credit bureaus, showing that you're consistently paying off one of the biggest monthly bills. Over time, this can strengthen your credit score, especially if you are diligent with making payments on time. So how can you start? It's simple. Begin by asking your landlord if they use or would be willing to use one of the services. Just a heads up, these services typically come with a fee, so be sure to read the terms to know how much you'll need to pay each month. Imagine this as a power-up in your favorite game, but instead of leveling up your character, it's leveling up your credit score. Tools like Experience Boost and Ultra Fico let you turn your everyday payments into credit boost and gold. Experience Boost is all about rewarding your consistent payments. When you link your bank account, it picks up on bills like phone, utility, and streaming service platforms. Normally, this don't count to your credit score, but with Boost, those payments get added to your Experian report. You could see your score jumping in a few days, giving you that satisfying sense of progress. Ultra Fico, on the other hand, takes a closer look at your bank accounts, especially your savings and checking accounts. If you have a healthy balance and good banking habits, Ultra Fico rewards you by bumping up your credit score. It's like getting an extra points for good financial moves you're already making. Both tools are free, but you do need to sign up to get the benefits. Experian Boost adds on-time payments to the Experian report only, so if a lender pulls from Experian, your boosted credit score is gonna be there for them to see. So if a lender uses Equifax or TransUnion, the boost from Experian won't show. As for Ultra Fico, it is ideal if you're looking to show lenders that you have some solid savings. If you're applying for a credit, ask your lender if they use Ultra Fico for an extra edge. These tools are best for certain situations, but if you're on the mission to build credit, why not take advantage? Give Experian Boost and Ultra Fico a try and let us know in the comments below if you've seen a score jump using these credit power-ups. Looking for a powerful way to boost your credit score? How about considering a loan as your secret weapon? Yep, you heard that right. Getting a loan can actually build your credit while also giving you access to the cash when you need it. Here is how it works. When you take out a loan, whether it's a personal loan, auto loan, or a student loan, you're establishing a new credit account. This is a golden opportunity to show lenders that you're responsible. As you make those monthly payments on time, you'll be building a positive payment history, which is a huge factor in determining your credit score. Now you might be thinking, but what if I already have debt? Great question. Well, it is important to manage your existing debt, and then a new installment loan can actually improve your credit utilization ratio. Just remember to borrow responsibly. Only take out the loan on an amount you're confident you can repay. Here is a pro tip. Look for loans with favorable terms and interest rates. But here is the catch. Don't miss those payments. Missing even one can have a negative impact on your your credit score, which can set you back on your credit building journey. So make sure you're financially ready to take on that loan and commit to paying back on time. If you don't have any of the loans listed or find yourself you need another option for building credit, you can get a secured credit card. It's like the safer credit builder cousin of the traditional credit card for those who starting out their financial journey. Here is how it works. Secured credit cards require you to put down a deposit, which acts as a collateral to reduce the risk for the lender. This means if your credit isn't that good or even doesn't exist, you can still qualify. And if you're a student, there are special student credit cards available that might come with higher interest rates and less favorable terms, but they are made for young adults just starting to navigate the credit world. Some secured cards don't even require credit checks. When applying, make sure the credit issuer reports to all 3 major credit bureaus, because that's how you build that all-important credit history. Now let's talk numbers. When you open a secured card, you typically need to make a deposit that serves as your credit limit. For example, if you put down a $500 deposit, voila, and now you have a $500 credit limit. Use the card like regular credit card, make your purchases and pay off the balance monthly. As long as you're making those payments on time, your card issuer will report your activity to the credit bureaus, and you'll be on your way to improving your credit score. But here is the thing, not all secured cards are created equal. Some might require a smaller deposit but offer a higher credit limit, while others might have annual fees. It's super important to shop around and compare your options to find the best fit for your needs. And once you've established a positive payment history, you can potentially get your deposit back and even upgrade to an unsecured credit card. Whatever option you choose to build credit without a credit card, you must make payments on time consistently. Late payments deal severe damage to your credit score. Avoid financial obligations that put you at risk of making late payments or defaulting. Now, what do you guys think? Have you tried any of these methods? Or do you have a no credit card friend like mine? And hey, if you want more tips like this, hit that subscribe button and let's keep building those smart money moves together. I was happy helping you today with these tips, and I'll see you next week with the updates on credit hacks.